All right. So this is something Be Humble sent us.
Well, let me see.
And you would probably give more insight on it because you sent it. So this says
Oh,
Owsley County, Kentucky has one of the highest rates of food stamp enrollment in America. It is 98.7% white and overwhelmingly Republican. Remember this. Remember this when you hear someone on the right wing say that food stamps are only for liberals and welfare queens in the big city. So be humble. Was this a troll post, sir?
it was a troll post. It's for you
Yeah.
though. But no, it has truth to it. Like the majority of the people on welfare are white. Period. There's no around that. That's the majority of the people. But when you hear the word welfare, the first thing you think of is some woman in the projects that look like us. But and what's crazy is what they were showing there is how they vote Republican, and Republicans want to do away with social programs, which is what's the saying, that they're willing to cut off their nose to spite their face,
Mm.
which is funny too. Like you're on all these programs, but you want to vote this way, and they want to cut the programs, which really makes it's just baffling that you could vote that way. I can understand. I can understand more so you not voting, but to vote against your own interests is just baffling to me at the end of the day. I just could never understand that.
So
And Kentucky's one of the poorest states, and they have they keep electing the same government, the same congressmen, and they're a poor state. They don't want change, obviously.
so you think people are stuck in their habits, stuck in their ways,
Yeah, hateful ways. Yeah,
hateful ways.
yeah.
Hateful how?
Mitch McConnell, that's his state. That's the old white guy. I don't know if you remember, like, it was like a year or so ago. Remember, he's doing an interview, and he just like blanked out. He just was like,
Oh,
"That's
the old yeah.
that's his
They were
state. Yeah,
saying
that's his state, Kentucky, one of our poorest states. Horrible, horrible when it comes to education, but yet they keep voting him in.
let's see. Poor states in the US.
Majority, watch, you'll see, which is it's going to be interesting. Majority of them are in the South and are red, which is and they it's not like they became poor a year ago. They've been poor for decades.
Say the states considered the poorest in the US in early 2025 based on the available data and forecasts include Mississippi, Louisiana, West Virginia, and Kentucky, with New Mexico and Arkansas also frequently listed among the states with the highest poverty rates and low median household incomes. These
I
rankings are
think
typically determined. Go ahead.
I think New Mexico might be blue, but the rest of those are red states.
So, what do you think is going on in their mind when he talks about doing away with the governmental assistance, but they still vote for him?
I think it's no different than when people say like black people vote a certain way. I think sometimes we don't consider certain. Then you got to echo. We don't consider like we look at. I don't think we look at the whole picture. Like some people will vote. Like okay, I'm gonna be transparent. My mom votes red because she's against homosexuality. One thing is willing to end it all for her to vote a her certain way, and I'm just like one thing. Like, where's the rest of everything that falls with? There's a whole picture. Like one thing that you're willing to vote a certain way instead of looking at every like line up everything this person is saying. Like one of the things like I can rock with that. I can rock with that. Nope, nope, nope. I can rock with that. I can rock with that. Nope. No, one thing for a lot of people is all it takes.
Yeah. Did the echo go away?
Yeah, it went away.
Okay, because I just muted myself. But yeah, they call them one issue voters.
Hmm.
To your point, like that's one of the reasons why back during the election, Kamala Harris was getting a lot of attraction, in particular because she knows that a lot of women are one issue voters. So you mentioned my body, my choice to a lot of women. They don't even hear anything else that she says. Yeah, no, disagree.
No, if you look at the numbers, majority of women voted red,
Are we? So
which
I
is
was talking about
crazy. Go
really.
ahead. Yeah.
How do you
Well,
look at
yeah. There's a way to look up demographics.
um
I don't.
voting?
As a woman, I guess if I was a woman, I wouldn't want to be told what to do at the end of the day. But I don't know. I just look at it as there's got to be middle ground when it comes to that. Like that's not my call.
What you?
That's not my call.
Let's see, because I don't.
So I recently had this discussion with this guy because he was bringing up how
Ooh, I like
current
this one.
administration is floating the idea of paying people to have like kids. And the guy who was talking about it was like not understanding where this all comes from, and he's thinking that w- this, he cares about everybody, which he the administration does not. If you look at Hitler and them did this, they did the same thing. They were paying people because the numbers were low. They wanted to pay people to have children. And okay, if we had kids and the government paid us as well, oh, he's feeling like the government isn't racist. They're a good government. We can get caught up into something that's not meant for us. Sort of like if you look at welfare and the free lunch program, it was not for us. It was because there was a ton of there was poor whites. The country wanted to help out, and then because when you look when it comes to like politics, we they're for the majority, and sometimes minorities get wrapped up into that. Sometimes I'm not saying welfare is a good thing, but sometimes it's not a bad thing when you have, a poor woman who don't have money in her pocket to put food on the table for her child.
Yeah, I think my major issue with that is a lot of people are generational governmental assistance users, and as long as you give them a fish, they'll never learn how to fish.
But here's what I'll say: we always say we always say certain things like that, but I feel as though it's not really a bad program. It needs to be tweaked. Like I told a guy, so if you were in charge, what would you change with it? Like for me, one of the things I said is, you know, sometimes we're victims of our environment. And if you stay in the same area you grew up in, nothing's going to change for you. And then more than likely, nothing will change for your kid, depending upon the person. Like being in the military, when you transfer, right? Okay, so I transferred, I was in California and I got transferred to Jacksonville, Florida. They allowed me to take an advance, a pay advance, which I paid back over, I could, what was it, a year or two I could choose? I'm like, and I was like, so why can't somebody from welfare do that? Take a pay advance to where they get moved to a certain city within a certain limit. Because like sometimes if they just get out of where they're at, they could change, they can stop that. generational situation where they're in welfare. The child, grows up is in welfare, just by sometimes moving away from where you were at, changing your zip code, your area code could change so much for a person.
No, I think it's possible for sure. I think that's possible. No questions asked about that. But I think in most cases, wherever it's like that's like when you hear a lot of people say new hair, new me, or new car, new me, new job, new me. There's a really good chance that it's not the situation isn't going to change. No, you aren't going to change. Your situation does. Like no matter, like for instance, when people there was a mass exodus from Atlanta and people were going to Texas, and then next thing you know, influx of homosexuality in Texas. You get all the people in
Well,
Texas, police officers who
here's what I
law
would
enforcement.
say. In Texas, I'm not going to say I know everything, but I'm pretty sure there was homosexuality going on in Texas. But when you go to Atlanta, it's just everywhere in your face. In Texas, I'm pretty sure it's a big state, much bigger than Atlanta. It was going on there. I think they just kept things more so under wrap, where
And that's what
it
I mean.
wasn't in your face. Yeah, in Atlanta, those people down there, like in DC, in your face. This is who I am. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it. I don't think the numbers changed of the homosexuality in Texas. I just think those Atlanta people took what they were doing in Atlanta, like I said, out in the
Yeah,
open, took it to Texas.
and that's what I mean with the program that you mentioned. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm saying it comes if I voted for if I voted Democratic in Illinois and then I moved to Texas, there's a really good chance that I'm still going to vote Democratic.
I guess you would. Well, it depends. It depends because if you think a lot of times, um, depends like where you're at. Say if you move to you're in the city in Chicago where you're predominantly around people that look like you and who vote like you. But if you move to another state where or another area of town where people are different, different looking from you and have different views, there's a possibility that that could change.
There's, but there's a lot of work and effort that would go into something like that. A lot of funding, specifically a lot of funding off the hope and the possibility that somebody might change.
Well,
That's a
from what
tough
I've
bullet
seen
to bite.
in dealing with people in the military, I see a lot of guys like, yeah, I think it's just me from what I've seen. Some people want to play a certain game in life and they do change. I mean, because the military is cool, but at the same time, there's a game within a game, if you know what I mean. So if you play the
No, what do you mean?
game, yeah,
What do you mean?
it's not about, at the end of the day, it's not always what you know, it's who you know and who you're connected with. So
Mm.
sometimes guys and girls rock a certain way or play a certain way or, do things a certain way, hang out with certain people to advance their careers. It's not even just the military, just life in general, in civilian life. People do things just so they progress in life.
Um. All right. All right. So I got one more subject for us before we. Actually, you know what? Before that, I wanted to show you this. I like this website. I just happened to come across it.
Well, Pornhub.
It's called CAWP, Center for American Women in Politics. Seems like it's pretty pretty reliable. All right, so this is what gender differences in presidential vote choice, all voters. So support for Democratic nominee. The blue line is women, and the gray line are men. And it has the list of the years and the presidents that were the presidential nominee. So you said this previous election. Which one where you mentioned that was overwhelmingly red for women?
I think this one was, as far as, let's see.
I mean, it's higher. 45. I don't know what exact percent voter support. That's what it is. Percent voter support. So 45% women voted for Trump, and then the only one higher than that was Bush in 04. It's interesting. I like that website. All right, I got one more thing that I wanted to talk about. I think we can spend the last few minutes talking about it. Whew. There is a pastor that is under fire, facing serious charges.
Oh, I've seen this.
Essentially, for what's being, how do I say, called, that's what's being labeled as slavery.